Hey, it's Marcus, and welcome to another episode of Between the Bellows, a show that combines large format photography and short documentary stories. So after I moved to Southern California, I would always drive down this street named Lincoln Avenue in Pasadena, and next to the Stumptown coffee shop, there's a little storefront where you can see someone in the window every day making fresh pasta. I finally stopped by and learned that it's a shop selling locally made, high-quality dried and fresh pasta. And I've basically been hooked ever since. So in this episode, I'm going to introduce you to a local legend, Leah Ferrazzani, who left a career in writing to make pasta full-time without any formal training. And selfishly, I'm really glad that she did. So let's go meet Leah.
I'm Leah Ferrazzani. I'm the owner of Semolina Artisanal Pasta and Ferrazzani's Pasta Shop and Market in Pasadena, California. I love pasta, and it is really special to me because it's delicious. It's versatile, and it's something that can be wonderful essentially on its own with olive oil and garlic or a little bit of butter and Parmigiano Reggiano, or it can be the palette for a much more complicated meal. When I make pasta, it's like playing with a giant Play-Doh fun factory, and I'm changing dyes and I'm learning hydration and I'm doing all these really fun things that are based in tradition and have a foundation in some creativity, but there's also like something methodical about it and meditative about it. And I like being the foundation of a meal, as opposed to a sauce. It's kind of like a little bit of alchemy and a lot of science. We use 100% semolina. We don't cut with finer grinds of wheat, which gives our pasta a really dense, toothy texture. We extrude our pastas through bronze dyes as opposed to Teflon-coated dyes. Teflon-coated dyes create pasta that's very slick, and then your sauce slides off into a sad little puddle in the bottom of your bowl. So early success was finding anybody unrelated to me to eat my pasta, right? I mean, I come from my undergraduate degrees in poetry, and I used to be told that success in poetry is finding 5 people who are unrelated to you who like to read your work. And I kind of came at my pasta business with a very similar mentality. If I can find anybody who's interested in eating this thing that I've made that is not related to me, that's gonna see and feel and experience the product in a way that makes them come back and want more, then I've found something. Did a little research, put my journalism degree to work, and found out we export about half the durum wheat that we grow in the US to Italy for them to make into pasta to send back to us. And so once I knew we had raw material to make something great, I started researching pasta production. And I came downstairs one day and said to my husband, I think I want to make dried pasta. And he's like, what do you know about that? I was like, absolutely nothing, really. And he's like, well, you should do that. And I was like, okay. And then I did. Nine and a half years into my business, I still have imposter syndrome. I am not a trained chef. I am not a trained food professional, right? Like, I didn't go to culinary school. I didn't do HACCP training. Like, I didn't do all of the things that so many of the people I admire did to get where they are. There was so much doubt every single day that somebody was going to discover that I was making it all up as I went along. That said, that is also the thing that I think is my strength. Since I don't know anything, I have to figure out how to do things in a way that works for the way my brain works, the way my body works, the way that I want to run the business. I thought it was really fun broaching something that I knew so little about before I made it, because it really made me need to dive in and understand so many different factors. I love the meditative, repetitive quality of it. I have a fast brain that is always going. And when I am making pasta or packing pasta, there's a quietness that happens like when I'm rock climbing. Like, all I can do is just kind of be in the moment and feeling the dough and smelling the flour and just kind of in this much more flow state. And I can get there much faster than I could as a writer. I found writing really painful, like emotionally and intellectually painful, to be able to get past my internal editor and like hit flow state where like it all just came out. And I don't have that problem when I make pasta. On the days where I wake up and I look at the machine and I don't want to run pasta, I think about all of the people that I get to feed, all the joy and comfort that I get to bring with this thing that I'm about to make. And that kind of just fills the well in a really quick and easy way. And then it's much easier to like just get in there and go.
After my conversation with Leah, I thought it was a good idea to buy some fresh pasta for dinner that night, and then set up for a portrait inside the market area where we did the interview. I'm shooting on my normal setup, the arca-swiss f-metric 8x10, and because the space was a bit on the smaller side, I chose to use a Fuji 210mm wide-angle lens, and I'm shooting on Ilford FP4+. There was great light coming in from the window, but I also set up an aperture 300x with a softbox so I could wrap the light around Leah's face just a little bit more so it wouldn't be so side-lit. And then I'm using my spot meter to make sure that my highlights and shadows are all in range. It seems like you want to smile.
It's my natural inclination.
All right,
I'm a smiler.
Let's try it. Okay, right to camera, please. And just look right here. And then tilt your head. And then, yep, that big smile that you just had. 3, 2, 1. So this is a perfectly good photo. I went home, I processed it, but after I looked at it, I felt two thoughts bubble up. First, I really missed this idea of Leah being hands-on, working with machines and raw ingredients. And second, I missed the look of my favorite focal length, which is a 300mm on 8x10. So I hit up Leah again and I asked her to reshoot her portrait, this time in the kitchen, wearing the apron and the hairnet and the whole deal. I'm glad I went with my gut and asked to go back. I really like her confidence and posture in this photo in the setting where she works. I guess it's a lesson for everyone, including myself, not to settle for an image if you feel deeply that something could be improved and it's within your means to do it. So thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please help me out by hitting like, subscribe, and maybe sharing with someone who loves pasta or large format photography. I will see you on the next episode of Between the Bellows. Thanks.